Today's lesson is Plus Talk, Joining a Local Tour, Day 1. Hi everyone, my name is Jeff.
And my name is Kelsey. And today we're talking about joining a local tour. So, if you've ever visited a foreign country, you might have joined a local tour there. Basically, if you go travel somewhere, you might need someone to show you around, and a local tour might be the way to go. So, for example, when I came to Taipei the first time, I actually joined a local tour. It was a walking tour, so we walked around in a big group. We were all visitors to Taipei, and they showed us the local sites, some historical buildings, and they explained the history of those buildings and why they're important. And then they took us somewhere to eat, which was great. And then...
Wait a minute. I'll let you finish later, but what you're saying, if you join, I should say, a local tour, someone will help you sightsee. They'll take you around a city, let's say, and show you the place, show you around the place and point out landmarks and all sorts of really cool stuff and tell you all about it. That's what happens when you go on a tour?
Yes, and when you go on a local tour, it means that the tour guide that's showing you around is a local of the place that you're in.
Yeah, that's kind of an important thing. You want the person who's showing you around, i.e. your tour guide, to know what he or she is talking about. And yes, if this person is a local, they are going to be familiar with the place that you are sightseeing in. Okay, you're a tourist there, so you don't know anything about that place. But a local is going to know everything about that place. After all, they live there. They have lived there for some time. They might even be a native. So yes, they are going to know the ins and outs of that place. Anyways, folks, with that, we've really got to get started on our lesson. So let's go ahead and take a short break. But when we come back, we will be joining a local tour. Well, at least Dennis will be. Anyways, yes, Act 1 of this month's Plus Talk dialogue is called Choosing a Tour, so maybe we won't be going on the tour quite yet, but hey, we are well on our way. Anyways, folks, it's time for us to take a break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with our lesson after this.
Joining a local tour. Act 1. Choosing a tour.
Nearing the end of his trip, Dennis visits a local travel agency to find more places to explore before he leaves.
Hi there. How can I help you today?
Hi, I'm here in New York on vacation for a few more days, and I was hoping to find a tour to go on or some exciting places to visit.
I can definitely help with that. Have a seat. How long are you here for?
I have another 4 days before I return to Taiwan.
大家好，今天第一个单字我们看到的是 agency， 这个字当作名词，代表代办处或是代理机构的意思。例如 When I needed to find work, I went to a job agency for help. 当我需要找工作时，我到工作中介所寻求帮助。
Welcome back, everybody. So we are talking about joining a local tour this time, and Act 1 is called Choosing a Tour. Now let's take a look at the characters that we have for this conversation first. We have Dennis, who is the main character of our conversation, and he is going to be choosing a tour. And then we also have a TA, and here TA is a travel agent. So that's the person that's working at the travel agency that Dennis will be talking to.
Yeah, remember, guys, we've been following Dennis for a few months now. Dennis has been traveling. He's been traveling in the Big Apple, New York City. And get this. Oh, yeah, his trip is about to end. Yeah, I know this because when we set the scene for our dialogue today between Dennis and a travel agent, we learned that, yeah, Dennis is nearing the end of his trip. That's what we learn right before the dialogue begins. Yes, nearing the end of his trip, Dennis visits a local travel agency to find more places to explore before he leaves. So yeah, Dennis is not going to start crying about having to leave New York. He's not going to get depressed and go to bed for a couple of days and ruin the end of his trip. No, he is going to be active. He is going to get the most out of his trip to New York. Well done, Dennis. Yes, he wants to find more places to explore before he leaves. So he thinks, yeah, joining a local tour, that's going to be a good idea. Maybe a local will show him around, or he'll just get a better feel for New York City. A New Yorker in New York will show him around New York. That is a local tour, and that's the way to do things, Dennis. That's the way to travel, Dennis. Jayo, well done, Dennis. Anyways, yes, he is going to be joining a local tour, and I keep saying New York, okay? New York is short for New York City, but there is New York State, so sometimes there's confusion there. But we're not talking about New York State. No, no, no. Dennis is traveling in the Big Apple, like I said before, New York City. So let the confusion end there. When I say New York, I mean New York City. Anyways, before we get started, let's go ahead and talk about what an agency is.
Well, an agency is an organization, sometimes a business, that serves a single purpose or that focuses on one thing. And often these kind of businesses provide a particular service on behalf of other people or other businesses. In this case, we are talking about a travel agency. So they're helping people get to travel services. Or if you had an advertising agency, they might be helping businesses with advertising. Or you could have a modeling agency, and that would be helping models get work. Anything like that, those are all called agencies.
So a travel agency, it specializes in travel. It helps people to travel. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
That's pretty clear. I think I get that. Yeah, a travel agency. If you want to go on a tour, let's say, you would call a travel agency. If you wanted to book some plane tickets, you might call the travel agency. If you wanted to get a hotel room while you're on that trip that you're taking that you just bought those airplane tickets for, you would talk to a travel agency. And yes, you wouldn't really talk to a travel agency, would you? You'd have to talk to a travel agent. Agency, agent. Yeah, an agent is a person who works at an agency. That's all there is to it. So the person you're talking to is the travel agent. You wouldn't actually talk to the travel agency. The travel agency, when I think of a travel agency, I think of a building. And if you were to stand in the middle of the road and talk to a building, people might think that you're crazy. So talk to the travel agent. That's a person, not the actual agency. That would be a little bit weird. But I digress. Anyways, there's a travel agent, and then there's Dennis. And the travel agent kicks things off by saying, "Hi there. How can I help you today?"
And Dennis replies, "Hi, I'm here in New York on vacation for a few more days, and I was hoping to find a tour to go on or some exciting places to visit." So Dennis is looking for a tour. Maybe he just wants to go and see some exciting places to visit, and that's why he's asking the travel agent about this.
Yeah, Dennis has seen a lot, but he wants to see more. He wants to see some exciting places before he leaves New York. Now, I think he's already been to the Statue of Liberty. He's already been around the boroughs there in New York City, but still, Dennis wants more. Now, the travel agent hears Dennis out and says, "You know what? I can definitely help with that. Have a seat, i.e. sit down, okay?" Then the travel agent asks Dennis a pretty good question. The travel agent asks, "How long are you here for?"
And Dennis replies, "I have another 4 days before I return to Taiwan." So now the travel agent knows how many days Dennis has, and she can help him set up his travel accordingly. And with that, we've come to the end of this part of our Plus Talk, and we are going to take a quick break.
Okay, you have quite a few options in that case, as many of our tours are 1- and 2-day trips. There are some that take you to the major landmarks in New York City, like Times Square and the Statue of Liberty. We also have multi-city and multi-state trips, so you can check out some other nearby places.
Oh, that's cool. I've already seen the Statue of Liberty in Times Square, so maybe I'll sign up for one of the other tours.
第二部分我们看到的单字是 landmark， 这个字当作名词，它有地标或是里程碑的意思，所以我们可以说 This building is a landmark of the town because it was the only one that survived the fire. 这座建筑是个地标，因为它是城里火灾中唯一幸存的房子。
All right, folks, we're back. Now, this is this month's Plus Talk Dialogue, and this month we're focusing on local tours. We've got Dennis. He's still in New York City. He won't be there for long, but for now, he's still in New York City. He's going to be there for 4 more days, and he wants to join a local tour. Now, he doesn't know that he wants to do this yet, but I get the feeling that this travel agent that he's talking to is going to tell him, hey, a local tour is the way to go if you want to get the most out of your remaining time in New York City. I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. Anyways, yeah, Dennis, he has 4 days before he has to return to Taiwan, and he wants to explore New York City some more. He wants to see some exciting things. He wants to visit some exciting places. Anyways, the travel agent continues our dialogue by saying, okay, you want to get the most out of your time, your remaining time here in New York City. You've got 4 days. Okay, you have quite a few options in that case, as many of our tours... You see what the travel agent is doing there? She's already recommending tours or local tours. Anyways, yeah, you have quite a few options in that case, as many of our tours are 1 and 2 day trips. So this is pretty good. That means that Dennis could take 2 2-day trips, or 4 1-day trips, or 2 1-day trips and a 2-day trip, or a 2-day trip to begin with, followed by 2 1-day trips, or a 1-day trip, then a 2-day trip, and then another 1-day trip.
That is true.
He's got a lot of options.
That's a ton of options to choose from. So that's great for Dennis, for sure. And besides explaining the different lengths of the tours, the travel agent also says there are some that take you to the major landmarks in New York City, like Times Square and the Statue of Liberty. So the travel agent is recommending tours that will show Dennis different landmarks in New York City. And here, landmarks are important buildings, structures, or features found in some place. And landmarks are popular with travelers. So in this case, the landmarks that the travel agent is talking about are Times Square and the Statue of Liberty. But of course, wherever you go in the world, there will be different landmarks. So, for example, in Taipei, the most famous landmark, of course, is Taipei 101.
Yeah, very simply here, landmarks are important buildings, structures, features, etc. found in some place. And yeah, very often landmarks are popular with travelers like Dennis. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on here. Next, the travel agent says we also have multi-city and multi-state trips, so you can check out some other nearby places. Now, if you want to take a local tour, chances are you don't want to take one of these multi-city or multi-state trips, although if you did have more time, maybe an entire week or a couple of weeks, going on a multi-city or a multi-state trip could be pretty cool. Yeah, in the northeastern United States, there are a lot of really cool cities and places to visit as well. Yeah, you can leave New York City, you can go to Philadelphia, let's say, or Boston. You might even go, or you could even go, I should say, to a place off the beaten path like Vermont. Yeah, if you were to go to Vermont in the fall, you could go leaf peeping. Yeah, that doesn't sound like much, but apparently Vermont in the fall is beautiful when all the leaves begin to change colors. But yeah, I get the feeling that Dennis is going to stay in the Big Apple, New York City. He's not that adventurous. He just wants to stay in New York City where he's already slightly familiar with things. He just wants to make sure that he gets to see everything there is to see in New York City, right? Wrong. Dennis is adventurous, and we'll learn about that soon. But before we learn anything else, we do have to talk about this word multi-city, or I should say the prefix, I should say multi. Multi is kind of short for the word multiple, or it means multiple. So here, if you were to go on a multi-city trip, that means you'd be visiting more than one city. Similarly, a multi-state trip, that would be a trip where you visit more than one or many states. That's pretty much all there is to it. So yes, the travel agent says we also have multi-city and multi-state trips, so you can check out some other nearby places. And Dennis says, oh, that's cool. There's the adventurer in him coming out. I've already seen a Statue of Liberty and Times Square, so maybe I'll sign up for one of the other tours. So there you have it. Dennis is an explorer. He's an adventurer. He's really, really cool. I like him a lot. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up day 1 of this month's Plus Talk Dialogue.
Have you made your way up to Niagara Falls yet? That's a very popular destination, and many of our tours head there before leaving New York.
I haven't seen the falls, actually. That sounds amazing, though.
All right, how about this? I have a 3-day trip with a couple seats left that hits Niagara Falls on the first day and then treks through Boston for the second and third days. You'll be back late afternoon on the third day, which is perfect if you're leaving in 4 days.
That does sound perfect. Okay, sign me up.
今天最后一个单字，我们看到的是 trek。这个字当作动词，它有旅行或是长途跋涉的意思。例如 My adventurous brother trekked across the snowy field wearing only his sandals. 我爱好冒险的弟弟只穿着凉鞋就跋涉越过积雪的原野。
All right, welcome back, everybody, and it's time for the last part of our Plus Talk dialogue. And when we left off, Dennis was talking to the travel agent and finding out about the tours that he could go on. And now it looks like he's going to have to come to some sort of decision. We start off with the travel agent who says, have you made your way up to Niagara Falls yet? That's a very popular destination, and many of our tours head there before leaving New York. So remember, the travel agent had been recommending multi-city and even multi-state trips to Dennis, and he was considering going on one of these tours. So these tours would take him out of New York, and this travel agent is talking about one of those tours and saying that he could go and see Niagara Falls.
Yeah, Dennis, what a guy. I thought that he would be taking a local tour in New York City, a tour hosted or guided by a local of New York City in New York City. But Dennis, this guy's an adventurer. He is doing things that are not for the faint of heart. If I were thousands of miles away from my home country, I would probably want to stay put in one place and not travel all over the place, okay? But hey, Dennis, he's not a wimp, all right? I'm a wimp. Dennis is not. Dennis is quite a guy. Anyways, as for Niagara Falls, Dennis says, I haven't seen the falls, actually. And then he says, that sounds amazing, though. So he's not intimidated by Niagara Falls one bit. He thinks that the falls sound amazing. Now, the travel agent hears him and says, all right, how about this? I have a 3-day trip with a couple seats left that hits Niagara Falls on the first day and then treks through Boston for the second and third days. Boston. I think I might have mentioned that earlier, although I did also mention leaf peeping in Philadelphia as well. But hey, 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yes, and here we have to talk about this word trek. So trek is a verb that means basically travel. So to trek is to go on a trek, and specifically a trek is a long hike or a journey that might be very difficult.
So there you go. The word trek can be used as both a verb and as a noun. To trek is to go on a trek. So here, this bus is going to travel through Boston or go through Boston. So when the travel agent says that you're going to trek through Boston, she's just saying that you're going to travel through Boston or you're going to go through Boston. But yes, to trek is to go on a trek, and a trek, notice here I'm using the word trek as a noun. Specifically, a trek is usually a long hike or a journey that might be very difficult. So it sounds like the travel agent is using some fancy language here to get Dennis interested. And I think it's working. Dennis is most definitely interested. Anyways, the travel agent isn't quite done. Next, she says, you'll be back late afternoon on the third day, which is perfect if you're leaving in 4 days. And Dennis, like I said before, he's definitely persuaded by everything that the travel agent has to say. Dennis says, that does sound perfect, Mrs. Travel Agent. Okay, sign me up. I'm in.
Right, so it looks like Dennis has found his perfect tour. It's going to take him 3 days to complete this tour. And then after he's seen Niagara Falls and Boston, he's going to come back to New York and then he'll be on his way after that. That seems like a perfect ending to this conversation. And with that, it's time to take a listen to the Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。 Dennis 请旅行社代办来推荐纽约的参观行程。那在对话的第二部分当中，旅行社人员说他们有很多一日游或是2日游的行程。那他说 We also have multi-city and multi-state trips, so you can check out some other nearby places. 我们也有多个城市和多个州的行程，所以你可以看看一些附近的其他地方。好，那我们来看句子里面的 multi-city 以及 multi-state 这两个字。这个字首 multi M-U-L-T-I 它表示多个的，许多的。 multi-city 就表示多个城市的， multi-state 是形容多个州的。好，那再帮同学们补充几个是以 multi 开头的单字，像是 multimedia 多媒体的， multi-purpose 多用途的，多功能的， multinational 表示多国的或是跨国的， multicultural 则是用来形容融合多种文化的。至于 multilingual 则是指使用多种语言的，或者是能通多种语言的。好，那听到旅行社人员说有一些行程啊是要去看纽约市的主要地标，像是时代广场和自由女神像等等的，那 Dennis 就说I've already seen the Statue of Liberty and Times Square, so maybe I'll sign up for one of the other tours. 我已经参观了自由女神像和时代广场了，所以或许我会报名其他的行程。那最后旅行社就向他推荐一个3日游行程，那 Dennis 觉得那个行程很理想，他说 OK, sign me up. 好，帮我报名吧。那这边要介绍的就是片语 sign up 的用法。 sign up 表示登记报名，像我们要登记报名参加某个组织或是活动的时候，就常常用 sign up for something 来表达。例如 She signed up for yoga classes. 她报名了瑜伽课程。好，那我们还可以用 sign somebody up 来表达替某人报名或者是让某人加入。举例来说 Hey, do you want to exchange Christmas gifts with us? 你要跟我们一起交换圣诞礼物吗？That sounds fun. Sign me up. 听起来很好玩让我加入吧。好，另外 sign up 它还可以用来表达签约雇用某个人。举例来说 The record label signed the band up last year. 唱片公司去年签下那个乐团了。好，那以上是今天的重点整理，接着我们来回顾今天的单词吧。
Agency. I think the news agency is hiring right now. Maybe you could apply there. Landmark. Mount Fuji is a famous landmark located on Honshu Island in Japan. Trek. The hiking group trekked up the mountain for several hours before taking a break.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Kelsey.
See you next time.